What's going on, guys? It is Ketch back with another video on the channel. Welcome back if you've been a previous viewer, and hello to any new viewers who are just checking in for the first time on this channel. But what a few days it's been in the football world. But the biggest possible news is the fact that Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Roma in Italy. The legendary coach was let go after a disappointing string of results that unfortunately got him the sack. Unfortunately, football is a results business, and unfortunately for Mourinho, his time was up at Roma. But let's do a deep dive into what happened to Mourinho at Roma. Like I said, guys, Jose Mourinho was indeed sacked by Roma. He had Roma 9th in the Serie A at the time he was sacked, which was a disappointing halfway start to the campaign, I guess you could say. It wasn't what the Roma fans or the Roma board expected of Mourinho. Such a massive name in the footballing world, in the managerial space, even in that point. And to see a manager like Mourinho struggling. Is he past it now? I'm not 100% sure. I think he's still got something to offer. Whether that's in European football, I'm not sure. But Roma fans love Jose Mourinho, and they'll be sad to see him go. But in his replacement is Daniele De Rossi, the ex-Roma captain himself, who played many years, I think it was over 20 years as a Roma player, is now taking on the reins, at least until the end of the season for Roma. We'll see how he goes. He had a small time managing spell, SPAL, in the second division of Italy, and it didn't go so well, but we'll see how De Rossi goes in the rest of the season. But as for Mourinho, it's hard to see him be sacked from yet another club. He's got the third season syndrome, but he did help Roma win their first trophy in over 11 years. Yes, it was Europa Conference League. Yes, it's probably the lowest of the three European competitions, but at the end of the day, it is still a trophy, and Roma fans will thank Mourinho for bringing them this trophy, as it means a lot to them. They hadn't won a trophy for 11 years, an 11-year drought. Ironically enough, Mourinho was also the last person to win a European continental trophy for an Italian team, and he did it with that legendary Inter Milan team back in the 2009 Champions League season, and that was a massive achievement at the time because he just won trebles. So that was the league that season, the Coppa Italia, as well as the Champions League. So the domestic and European treble Mourinho won that year, and he was held in much acclaim after that season. But that was actually his last game, that Champions League final for Inter, as he went to Real Madrid the season after. But just look at some of the names in this Inter Milan team. The likes of Samuel Eto'o, who'd come from Barcelona the season prior. Wesley Sneijder, who should have won the Ballon d'Or this season, but I think he ended up losing to Lionel Messi. Javier Zanetti, and of course Diego Milito. So he had a lot of strong players in that Inter Milan squad, and that's just been a hallmark of Mourinho. He comes to a new team and he just builds a team around some really strong individuals. He did it at Real Madrid. He's done it at Chelsea twice. He did it at Manchester United, but with not much success. He did a bit at Tottenham while he was there as well, and then again at Roma as well. And that's because he's very shrewd when it comes to his signings, and he had a lot of free signings at Roma, the likes of Jorginho Wijnaldum, I should say, Nemanja Matic, who also played under him at Chelsea. But I think the marquee signing for Mourinho at Roma was a free transfer of Paulo Dybala, who joined Roma after his contract expired with Juventus a couple seasons ago. And this was what I thought was an excellent move at the time, because Dybala, even though he's very injury prone, is a very good finisher and a very good goal scorer. So I thought it was a brilliant move, and him partnering up with the likes of Romelu Lukaku, who also joined on loan from Mourinho's former club Chelsea, and the fact that Mourinho had managed him at Manchester United, I honestly thought that those two together would have scored tons of goals, but in the end it wasn't supposed to be. Dybala is always injured, Lukaku's been a bit inconsistent with his form, and a lot of the burden relied on both Sada Azmoun and Tammy Abraham as well to do a lot of the goal scoring for Roma, and it just wasn't forthcoming for Mourinho or Roma, and that shows in the season they've had so far. It hasn't been a particularly good season, and they've just been out of form and out of practice in their football this season. And you can see, in games I've watched of Roma this season, Mourinho just wasn't happy with how his team was playing. And we'll see what Daniele De Rossi has to do in getting Roma to improve moving forward. But if they don't improve, they're going to have a really dodgy season. And I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that they were charged with some irregularities regarding financial fair play. I think they faced a €35 million fine, which meant they couldn't really sign players they wanted to sign. So Mourinho had to dip into the free transfer market and just sign free transfers and loans. That's where Lukaku came from. I think Evan and Dicker from Frankfurt was a free transfer as well. I thought it was a good transfer as well. But there you go. There's the league table. Roma currently 9th on 29 points, and they've only got 5 points to Fiorentina, who are in 4th, but the Italian system works on a head-to-head, and I think Roma have already lost to a lot of the teams ahead of them. So even if they were to finish on points with the teams ahead of them, it's not necessary that they'd even finish in 4th. The league title's already gone for them. They're 21 points off Inter, who are in 1st place with 51, and then a further 20 points behind Juventus, who are in 2nd. So it'll be very difficult for Roma to get a new manager and get into the top 4. They might be able to sneak into 5th or 6th spot, but I think the top 4 is probably gone for them. Which led me to the next question of what's next for Jose Mourinho. A lot of the media is touting him going to the Newcastle job. Eddie Howe's currently under fire there at the underperforming Newcastle, and a lot of people are also thinking he might go back to Portugal, whether that's in a capacity at the national team or if it's just, in the Portuguese Liga. It'll be quite hard to see. Porto, Benfica, Sporting are quite already established. I think he might go to the Bundesliga and try his hand in German football. Mourinho is also only 60 as well, and if you look at Roy Hodgson and Claudio Ranieri, who are both a lot older than him, Mourinho's still got many years ahead of him. But I think Mourinho might just say, all right, I'm just going to call it a day and just end it there. He's accomplished so much. What does he need to do anymore? But at the end of the day, it's Jose Mourinho's decision, and I'll be glad to see him wherever he goes, because he's such a phenomenal manager and a hilarious person when it comes to doing punditry and media. So I can't wait to see what Mourinho does next. But that has been the end of this, guys. End of this video, guys. Please do like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another upload, and I'll see you with another video very soon. Have a good day, guys. See ya. Bye bye.